Okay, so this is Yaakov. We're in Berachot. This section is called Dreams and Dream Interpretations. So it says, Rabbi Hista said, It is not a good thing for a person to dream about himself when he is fasting. So Rabbi Hista also said, a dream that is not interpreted is like a letter that is not read. It's of no consequence. So Rabbi Hista also said, you never have a dream, either a good or a bad one, that is completely fulfilled. Rabbi Hista also said, a bad dream is better than a good dream. So when a person has a bad dream, he will worry about it and will prompt him to do teshuvah, basically is what he's saying. So Rabbi Hista also said, the worry that you have as a result of a bad dream is enough to be considered fulfillment of the dream, and you will not have to suffer any further ill effects from it. The happiness you derive from a good dream is the fulfillment of that dream. So Rabbi Yosef said, even for me, so Rabbi Yosef was blind and could not really enjoy the imagery of his dreams. So he says, even for me, the happiness caused by a good dream cancels it. So Rabbi Hista also said, a bad dream is worse than a physical beating, for it says God has caused things so that people would be afraid of him. Ecclesiastes 3:14. And Rabbi Barbachana said, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, that is a bad dream. A beating hurts only while it lasts, but the nagging fear induced by a bad dream persists for a long time. So he says, let the prophet who has a dream tell the dream, and let him who has received a word report my word faithfully. How can straw be compared to grain, says God? This is Jeremiah 23:28. The Gemara asks, and what do straw and grain have to do with a dream? So Rabbi Yochanan said in the name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, just as you cannot have grain without straw, so all the kernels of grain are encased in straw, which is worthless. And in the same way, it is impossible to have a dream without some nonsense. So Rabbi Berachot said, even though part of a dream may come true, all of it never comes true. How do we know this? From Yosef, for it says, Yosef dreamed, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. Genesis 37, verse 9. The sun was Jacob, the 11 stars were his brothers, and the moon represented his mother Rachel, who, of course, was passed away at that point. And at that time, his mother was not living anymore, so that part of the dream was nonsense. So Rabbi Levi said, a person should always anticipate that a good dream will come true, even if it takes as long as 22 years. How do we know this? Also from Yosef, for it says, these are the chronicles of Jacob. Yosef, 17 years old. So Genesis 37, verse 2. And furthermore, it says, Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. Genesis 41:46. How long is it from the age of 17 to 30? 13. Add to this the 7 years of plenty and 2 years of famine, after which Joseph's dreams came true. So you see that it can take as long as 22 years for a dream to be fulfilled. So Rabbi Huna said, a good person is shown a bad dream so that he will do teshuvah. And a bad person is shown a good dream to give him his reward in this world. So we have learned a baraita to the same effect. David did not have a good dream in all his life, and Achitophel never had a bad dream in all his life. So Rabbi Bizna ben Zavta said in the name of Rabbi Akiva, in the name of a certain elder, and who was this? Rabbi Bana'ah said, there were 24 interpretations of dreams in Jerusalem. Once I had a dream, and I went to all 24, and they all gave different interpretations, and all of them came true. This confirms what it says. All dreams follow the mouth of the interpreter. The Gemara asked, you are saying it says, implying that you are quoting a scriptural verse, is the saying all dreams follow the mouth of the interpreter then a scriptural verse? Where is such a verse? The Gemara answers, yes. As Rabbi Elazar said, how do we know that all dreams follow the suggestion of the interpreter? Because it says, the butler said to Pharaoh, things turned out just as Joseph said they would. Genesis 41:13. So Rava added, don't think that whenever an interpreter says something, it invariably comes true. It only does if the interpretation fits the dream, for it says, he interpreted each one's dream according to the content. So the Gemara says, the chief baker saw that Joseph was able to give the correct interpretation. So how did he know? Rabbi Elazar says each one had a dream, and he also dreamed the interpretation of the other one's dream. So if you look at that story, just pay attention to the words there. The chief baker saw that Joseph was able to give the correct interpretation. So he saw that the interpretation that Joseph gave to the cup bearer was true. So that's why he asked about his dream. So they're saying that the story is that both of those people in the prison, they dreamed dreams of each other, or they knew that sorry. Each one had a dream, and he also dreamed the interpretation of the other one's dream. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Rabbi Yochanan said, if somebody wakes up in the morning and thinks of a biblical verse, or he hears a child quoting a verse, this is a kind of minor prophecy. Rabbi Yochanan also said, 3 kinds of dreams come true: an early morning dream, a dream that someone else has about you, and a dream that was interpreted in the middle of a dream. Some say also a dream that was repeated, as it says Yosef saw a significance in the fact that Pharaoh had the same dream twice. So Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachmani said in the name of Rabbi Yonatan, a person is shown in a dream only the things that he thinks about during the day, as it says. And Daniel said, O king, the things that you think about will come to you in your bed, as Daniel 2:29. So, or if you prefer, you could derive it from here. It says, you may know the thoughts of your mind in your dreams. And this is verse 30. So Rava said, a proof that a person dreams of the things he thinks about during the day is that a person never dreams about a golden date tree or about an elephant going through the eye of a needle, because he never thinks of impossible things. So the Roman emperor said to Rabbi Hoshua ben Hananiah, you Jews say that you are very smart. If you tell me, what will I see in my dreams tonight? He replied, you'll see in your dream that the Persians, against whom the emperor was mounting an expedition, will force you to work for them, that they'll rob you and force you to feed unclean animals with a golden stick, meaning that they'll humiliate you. The emperor thought about this all day, and at night he saw it in his dream, which proves that a person dreams about the things he thinks about during the day. So King Shavor, or Sapor, said to Shmuel, you Jews say that you are wise, so tell me what I will see in my dreams. He told him, you will see the Romans coming and taking you captive. They will put you to work grinding date pits and millstones that are made of gold, making a mockery of you. The king thought about it the whole day, and at night he saw it in a dream.